it's hard, Diane, because if they did
something
it
like
5 years ago, or,
Listen,
you know,
the
I
house
can't
on
go back.
Capitol, Chris, you know the house on Capitol. They just did it this summer.
I know, he already has a letter, Diane. He
That's what I'm
applied.
saying, these people who did it,
I'm
and
saying,
didn't apply for a permit, they should be fined.
I'm saying the ones going back 5 years ago, I have to start figuring out who did it recently and who didn't do it
You
recently.
can tell who did it recently.
The ones that I think did it recently are gonna get a letter. There's 2 or 3 that I know that are gonna be questionable, that I'm gonna ask Chris to go out there with me. In a week or 2, we'll have a list of ones that are gonna get the letters to file for permits. We're gonna have permits issued, we're gonna have 3,000, you have to vote on my bond. For anybody, it's automatically 3,000.
Yeah, we can do that. We
They're
can do
gonna-
that now.
They're gonna allow, we're gonna allow them to keep the width of the driveway as long as they fix the curb and it's to his liking.
Yes.
I have a question. What about the people that have done that, you know, like they say they finished their driveway
That's what we're
over the apron, you know, entrance into the driveway? But a lot of the people that I know that have done that have just paved over that because those
Well, then
aprons
that's
were
not,
damaged and
Right.
that's
destroyed.
not,
blacktop?
that's not done.
No, not the
correctly.
blacktop, I'm talking about the cement apron that when it dips down and goes into
The
front of your
requirement,
driveway.
right, the requirement must, well, talking out loud here, right? So there was concrete apron,
Right.
right? So at the end of the day, what most people are doing to extend that apron is that they're sawing, chopping, and busting up the concrete curb to somewhat make it flush to what's existing. A lot of it, and exactly what they're doing then, is that when they pave, they're bringing the pavement right to the road, so they're covering up the busted curb.
Right.
It's not like they're removing the curb and then installing an
Right.
apron, which is the right way of doing it.
Right, so we have to come up with,
So
how
that-
do we want
right.
our
Has to be
village to look?
approved.
Right.
But the question goes back to the home, you know, you dinging the homeowner, but in a sense, he was trying to fix something that was broken, that he may not have known the right way to go about, like, well,
Right.
it's a street, I don't know if who repairs that part of the street.
Then you would have known.
You know, we just.
Right, but,
Do you need
you
a
know,
permit to pave the driveway?
No.
No, so there you go. All right, so this is another issue that we have. The reason we're having this discussion is because people were allowed to do, for the past X number of years, to do whatever they want to do. And no one said anything. All right, the village finally has people who are looking out for the other person.
right, but they may have done what you just said, because, you know, there was
Right.
stuff not getting done, so I'm like, well, you know what? They're not coming to fix my apron on my driveway, I'm just gonna pave over it, so so I'm
Yes,
not getting water in my.
That
That-
person
so
10
So
years
now you're
from
gonna, now you're gonna find that
No, no,
person?
No. In my example is, you're talking about something that's decayed, that was there from the get-go.
Right,
He didn't create the situation, it was the original apron, and a lot of them have sunk, or whatever the heck happened to them. So at the end of the day, yeah, they pave it over. I'm talking about the guy who wants to expand his driveway, who could just cement cut it as level as he can, right, with the road, and then they're gonna pave, and they're gonna bring that pavement right over the top of that, versus coming in on the grass side of the house, of the curb, pulling that curb out, and then putting in an apron the way it's supposed to look. Because in 10 years, he'll get the phone call saying, hey, listen, it's all falling apart now. Well, it's because you ended up cutting it, and now it's shot, so,
What
whatever.
does other towns, what do the villages do? I mean, I'm sure other villages have the
Yeah,
same.
we're not.
We need to look.
Yeah, but, you know, let's create something now, moving forward, this is how it's going to.
right, but what you're doing also has to reflect the times as well. You know, again, 20, 30 years ago, most families probably had 1 car, 2 if you were lucky. Now there's a lot more cars in these driveways, so you gotta try to make it a little easier for them.
I understand what you're saying, Frank, but then, like you said, times change. Maybe in the future, believe it or not, kids might actually leave when they're 18 and like go out on their own like they used to.
That
So
would
they'll
be
you know,
nice.
empty nesters again.
Right,
So they're
that
gonna have
would
a
be nice,
60-foot driveway for 1 car.
but you don't know that until that starts happening.
So when
have
you move
time.
on, you gotta shrink
No
the
rush,
driveway.
right, no rush. Okay, so
Moving
let's make a motion for bonding of curb cuts, $3,000. Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
but
Then
somebody has to make the motion. I can't make the
I'll make the motion.
I'll make a second.
motion. Curb cut, bonding, curb cuts, not sidewalk, just curb cuts.
Curb cut.
$3,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Did you say that you
You don't
were
count.
Oh, I did.
Get out of here. Well, when you can.
Okay, Christine, we have $3,000. Thank you.
Make a motion that we,
You don't have any reports.
I have nothing to say.
Let's go with shed at Clinton Drive, so Fort I. There is a shed presently at the bottom of the water tower,
Yes.
Clinton Drive water tower, that is leaking. It's no longer, what,
Well, it's, the shed itself is falling down, the door's about to fall off of it. There's mice and everything else in there. What that shed supplies is the repeater for DPW, the radio system that we use in the trucks, and it also houses a cross patch radio system for the 911 center in Goshen.
so do we have a shed picked out and ready to go?
no, the fire department, no, we don't. We don't have prices yet either. I did not get them.
Okay.
The fire department is willing to pay 1/2 of that fee,
Okay.
of that price, the total price.
The total cost, yeah, so,
Total price, not of the shed, of putting all the
I can get a
wires
hold of
back
Steve
in.
Lacrosse, he may let us, take the radios out ourselves, but he may wanna come back and install them in the shed. As far as the electrical system goes, you're gonna have someone take the electric out and then put it back in. I don't know exactly what electric's in there, isn't there electric in there that feeds
It feeds.
the signal across the street?
It feeds from the booster station to the shed, and it feeds just to repeaters. We also put a line in there, there's a sub panel in there for the electric heater that was in there for winter time.
Well, what I was getting at, that electric doesn't just supply electric for the radios. It supplies the signal
For the heat, for the building,
well, it supplies the signal
I wouldn't let her move.
Thank you.
across the street, does it not?
No,
Really?
How does that building know how
it's
it's
a
how?
phone line that runs right into the booster station. It doesn't go into that shed. The only thing that's in that shed is the electric for the radios and lights and whatever that, yeah.
Well, can I make a recommendation then? We ask whoever DPW and so forth to go back out there, get the cost estimates to either remove the equipment, whatever needs to be done, and we get a price for a
Shed.
10 by 10 shed or whatever we need.
Well, it's my next
Because I understand it has
question.
electric in it, it also has some cooling in there, because it needs to keep that stuff environmentally sane. So if we can get all that stuff in the next meeting, we can just
How big is
go to
the shed
motion
that's
and
there?
do it.
Well, like me and Joe talked, the shed up there is probably no bigger than an 8 by 10 to begin with. So,
That's a good size?
uh-huh.
That's a, it's
I
big enough?
mean, we can actually measure it if you want.
No, but it's 10 by, the shed that you have up, I'd like you to measure it, but the shed that you have up there, if it's 10 by 10, is that good? Or does it have to be larger?
Well, it was never the fire department shed, it was always the village shed.
Okay.
You guys were nice enough to let us put our radio system and our antenna
What
on
is
the
it?
tower.
Is the present shed big enough for the equipment that's in
Thank
it?
you, Paul.
The present shed that's there, yeah.
Yeah, the one that's there.
So if you go price an 8 by 10 or a 10 by 10, it would be sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
won't need
let,
anything bigger than a 10 by 10.
so let's get a price without DPW doing anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying,
Right.
of taking everything out, putting the shed in, and putting everything back to where it needs to be.
Okay.
That includes electric and whatever has to be done. So if we could have that number by 2 weeks,
21st.
the 21st is the meeting, if we could have it prior to, what's that Friday before?
That would be Tuesday, that'd be what,
17th,
17th?
November
So
17th?
you want the fire department to get the prices for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
good with that? Okay. Okay, 4F, John Kidd Quarterly Magazine, Washingtonville Quarterly Magazine.
Or is it?
Um, John Kidd is recommending that we, the village, purchase 4, 5, or even 6 pages for each quarter in the form of editorial content that the village will be able to control at a discounted cost of $5.50 per page.
2,200 a quarter minimum. Yep.
Like $5.50 a page?
Yeah.
2,200 a quarter minimum.
What's the
I say we
editorial
pass.
content?
What's that?
What the hell we're doing?
Yeah, 2,200 per quarter.
Yeah. And to thank you with regrets.
What would you do, like put announcements in it? Is that what you're doing?
Well, it seems to be a lot of pages, okay? I would be in favor of taking one
Thank you.
folder, and putting announcements in that, just another means of getting information out. But I don't think we need to spend $8,800 for the year. So I would be in favor
So you'd
of
be
one
paying
page.
$2,200 for the year.
How many pages do we put in for the first magazine?
No.
No,
Zero.
no, they gave us one, he
Oh,
gave us the
put
one,
in,
yeah.
okay.
I think something we can discuss, table it for now. We can discuss it now, but I wouldn't vote on it now.
Yeah, okay.
My question would be, if we use his formula and we go for the one page, which I'm assuming he's gonna charge us the regular rate at $700, that's $2,800.
For the,
You know, what would we be able to do in other forms for $2,800? I mean, could we do direct mailings to people?
Could buy 2 weeks.
Well, I guess that's my question, you know, what bang for the buck are we getting by getting it in his magazine specifically versus just using that money for something else?
Yeah. And Joe, he's giving you some space to write, right?
no, he gave us, in the first magazine, he just gave us that one page.
And is that the page that you kind of wrote like,
Yes.
what's that?
Everything else was,
Okay.
But you're not gonna have like a mayor's.
Because that's really all it is, it's kind of like an announcement thing.
yeah.
So maybe they won't be washing it over quarterly.
I think between our new website and all the other social media.
How much more we need, yeah.
I say pass.
How much more do we need? We got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
I just think for $2,800, we could give us an opportunity to do other things, even if we have to do direct mailings.
And if it's quarterly,
I mean, he puts in here, just for an example, plenty of information that the village can create and help out promote things. Not limited to the government, parks, recreation, senior, youth events. I mean, I agree with Paul, I think, social media, we've got this thing nailed to the,
for placemaking and we the people.
and to do something like this quarterly,
Well, do we have
it's
to do
either
it quarterly?
happened or, huh?
We don't know if we have to do it quarterly.
Sounds like that's what he wants. He
Well,
wants-
Well, that's what he's-
He don't even start at 1 though, he starts at 4.
Up to six.
He
Up
must
to
have went to
7.
public school.
7. No, it's 6. So, I mean, it's something that I could ask him, do we have to go under contract for 4 times a year?
If I said if my suggestion would be if we do it and maybe the first quarter only. This way you'd have an opportunity to kind of recap the year, put some stuff in there, blah, blah, blah. and
So,
call it
so
a
it's
day.
a one time.
Just a one time a year. If you wanted to kind of do a, you know, what's happened, what's went over the last year, you know. You know,
All right, so let me, talk to him to see if that's,
I'm just saying price 500, of course,
550.
500.
Right?
Or not for profit. Okay.
One time only, right? Is that what that was?
Okay.
All right. Moving right along. G, resolution, let's go to 4A, resolution for part-time position here at the Village Hall.